Welcome back, folks. This is Shane. In today's video, as you can see on the desk here, I'm going to assemble an overdrive pedal, and this is the TubeKlon from Hagerman. So massive thanks to Jim Hagerman for sending this out to the channel. I really appreciate it. I haven't made a pedal in such a long time. This definitely won't be anywhere near as complicated as building a pedal from scratch. As you can see, the circuit board here is already pre-assembled on the most part. We have our socket here for the valve, which is a mallard. We'll take a closer look at this in just a moment, but I thought this would be really cool. I thought I'd just start by talking a little bit about what this is. So TubeKlon is the world's first tube-based mythical beast overdrive pedal interpretation. After deconstructing the classic design, the minimal gain flat bandwidth feature was removed, instead offering up that sweet mid-range boost as the new minimum gain tone. Based on the NeoKlon architecture, the diode op-amp clipping stage was replaced by a triode, as was the summing stage, which now drives a passive tilt style tone control. Now, if you're a pedal nerd and you know electronics, that will hopefully make more sense to you. The entire circuit is recreated using 5 transistors, 2 triodes, and 0 op-amps. Tonality is the same as the original, except at high gain where you get real tube breakup and sag instead of op-amp clipping. Basically, it gives you a similar sound or a very great recreation of the Klon tone, but with some differences, especially at high gain. The great thing about Jim, he just doesn't clone other people's circuits. If he's going to do something like the TubeKlon, for example, he's going to make the entire circuit different. Jim makes some really great amplifiers, which I've showcased on the channel. He also makes a whole range of pedals, and I'll link to his website down in the description box below. Now, the assembly is quite simplistic here. As you can see, there's not a lot of instruction, but the first part of the instruction here is to say, use the sandpaper here to remove residual paint from the lower right corner of the enclosure inside, such as the ground clip near the foot switch will make electrical contact. So, okay, I was about to say, I wonder what side that is. So it's basically the right side as you're looking at it, which is near this side. So I've just got to basically remove some paint here, and I'll do that right now. All right, I'm pretty sure that's good now. I can... All right. Done. Jim's provided a Mallard 12AU7, which is an ECC 82, and that's how that looks. So what I'm going to do, just to get all of this sort of sorted out here, now, if you've never put a valve or a tube into a socket, there's a section here where there's actually a bit of a space on one side, so you can just put this in. Now, back in the day, everyone thought you needed gloves to do this. I don't think so, but what I'm going to do is just hold here and just sort of push it around a little bit as I seat it, and that is it. Now, if you've got really greasy hands, it might not be too good for the tube, but yeah, it'll be fine. I've done this a couple of times with the amps, so... Now, what I'm going to do... Oh, yeah, I got it. I'm just going to put these guys down right now. These little sticky... little furry things here for the, you know, where the tube gets seated into the pedal. The most challenging part so far. I just trimmed my nails yesterday. Boom. Yeah, it's not going to hit the side over here, which is great. So we can just basically put a couple of these right next to each other. We should be good to go. Yeah, it's funny how these are really, really hard to get this, you know, the non-sticky part off. It's crazy. I know you can't see all of what I'm doing right now, but I'm trying my best to make it as easy as possible. All right, that's good. Looks like it's pretty good right there. Insert circuit board assembly into enclosure right at the end. So this must go somewhere at the end. Yeah, interestingly enough, I'm not too sure where that goes. But anyway, let's see what we can do here. So that's basically in, and it feels pretty secured. Actually, I'm just, you know what? Yeah, I bent the LED. So the LED's here. You've got to make sure that that's going into the right spot. I felt like there was a bit of tension when I popped it in. So let's have a look. Let's have a look. There it is. There it is. So that's the LED right there. So yeah, there we go. All right. Now, there's a few ways you can do this. These little washers are for what look to be the input and output jacks here. So I'm just going to have a quick look at this, see if they just click in. Yep, they go that way. And then we can use these guys right here. So these will just be placed sort of like on the top here. Now, what I'm going to do is just pop these in lightly and loosely. I'm not actually going to like screw them in hard or anything like that. They're just going in for placement's sake right now. And that is that. We have our 9-volt input over here as well, which is great. Now we've got our little washer here, which will be for the foot switch. So I think from memory, let's have a look here. Plastic washer and nut onto the foot switch. So I think it goes this way. That goes like that. We tighten this up. Boom. That's awesome. And now I want to know what this does. Editing Shane here. I just want to let you know what this is so you don't dismiss it. This is the tool that does everything to tighten up all the parts on the pedal. I didn't realize this at the time of filming, but it absolutely makes sense. I was looking at it just trying to think, where does this fit? So the larger gap here actually works for the foot switch nut, and you can use the opposite side here for the ones on the back where the jacks go. So yeah, I can't believe it. I went and got this. I didn't even need to. It said that it came with a tool, and I didn't see this as a tool. I thought it must sit somewhere in the enclosure. But anyway, I make these mistakes so you don't have to. Now this was really simple to put together, which is great. It also comes with the rubber feet if you want to put some rubber feet on there, but I'm not going to do that because odds are this will go on my pedal board if it sounds as good as I hope, and we'll test that out in just a moment. But I just want to make sure that it actually turns on first, so I'll be right back. Boom, we have power. So let's see if it works. All right, let's give it a go. So what I've done, I've just plugged into my Marshall DSL 40CR back here. It's mic'd up with an Austrian Audio OD5. It's got a Texas heat speaker in there as well, which kind of rolls out the top end a little bit. It's a great match for this particular amp. So let's give this a shot. I've dialed in the sort of classic crunch channel with a low gain sound because a KLONE, if you're unfamiliar with them, are great at boosting a slightly overdriven sound or using it as a solo boost, or you know, you can push a clean amp over the edge of breakup, all that kind of stuff. So let's give this a go. This is without the pedal on. I was just looking that I wasn't clipping my audio interface, but basically, yeah, it works, which is fantastic. So that was with the gain up quite a ways. Let's do it now for more of a boost. So this is with the gain down. Feels great. It really does feel great to play. Let's wrap this up. So tone-wise, this sounds like a Klon, but it's a little bit different. It feels like it does have more gain, especially with the gain control up. And even with it down, it still sounds a little bit more saturated than I was expecting, but it definitely has that top end bite of the Klon. One of the great things about Jim, he doesn't just copy circuits, he does his own take on them. So he really dug in deep to make his version of a Klon using a different approach, which I think is a really great touch. Now, if you're new to putting a kit together like this, I would say the difficulty is about a 1 to 1.5 out of 5, somewhere around there. It was very easy to put together once I worked out what was what, and once I worked out that this is the wrench that comes included in the pack. I didn't actually have to go and get this, so yeah, it's great. You don't actually need any tools to put this together. My only tip is make sure that the LED light is through the hole before you do anything else in terms of like seating the rest of the circuit board in. But being that the circuit board is already done, it takes the complete headache out of that particular process. So this was a whole lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. Let us know what you think and stay tuned. I'm going to compare this up against a few of my other Klon pedals coming up pretty soon. Catch you soon.